Teams that they commit on offense. Got that vibe from last night after the game.
Oh, yeah.
Can't be taking penalties on 3rd and 2 and making 3rd and 17. Not going to win very many games that way.
What are we doing on the couch here?
Oh, so Ian actually had a tough week, huh? We made up some ground on Ian?
I'm coming. I figured it out in this competition. You two better watch your ass.
Just be nice if. I'd like to get over 500 at some point.
It's always a sign of a good year. Jordan. Good stuff. How about them Colts?
So Myles Garrett had 5 sacks in that game, and they still got blown out.
He had 5? Good grief.
Apparently.
Yeah, yuck it up, LaFleur. Yuck it up, LaFleur. There we go. I deserve to lose wearing those jerseys. Good grief.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that pissed me off. I don't like either of them, but at least the Packers still are. You can tell it's them.
Tuck! All right, let's talk about the Titans. Yeah. And welcome into the Monday edition, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz. He's always about great service. Joe Rexrode, good morning. Welcome back to town. What's going on?
Thank you. Good to be back. I guess it's a little warmer down here. A little warmer. I was hoping to come back to 78 and sunny, but there's not that bitter, right to your bone chill of the state of Michigan. So it's good to be back.
So you're telling me you brought some of this crap with you? That's what you're telling me.
I guess. Was it nice like the last few days and it just got bad?
Weekend wasn't great. Last week's pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah.
70s.
Yeah. Well, what are we looking at this week?
Not the 70s.
Let's talk. Not the 70s.
No.
So it's going to be crap like this now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow, highs in the 50s this week and a bunch of rain. Yeah, sorry.
My bad, guys.
Yeah.
Ian, how we doing? What's going on? We got a lot to get into on the program today. Unfortunately, some of it will include the Tennessee Titans as well. We'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But Vanderbilt gets a big win against Eli Drinkwitz and the Missouri Tigers. The Vols go on the road, take down Kentucky. I mean, heck, even the Preds got to win this weekend in one of their 2 games. So some winning going on in our city, in our area this weekend, not involving the Tennessee Titans. We will get into all that. Joe, we are going to get into the 38-14 loss by the Tennessee Titans to the Indianapolis Colts. We will do that here in just a minute. I do want to start on the Vanderbilt front, though, because they get the 17-10 win. It was a back-and-forth game. It was largely kind of a defensive game where you look at it and you're like, well, not a whole lot happened. It was actually a pretty eventful, low-scoring 17-10 game, including a Hail Mary attempt that ended up being completed by Missouri that was about, 3/8 of an inch short of the goal line there. That would have been just amazing had they actually gotten into the end zone on that play. But what did you make of the Doors and their big win? College game day in town, the whole night.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I thought just everything was awesome in terms of like the pregame, and I heard from people who tailgated and went out there and said it was it's like as good as you could hope. Good for Vanderbilt. Good for Candace Lee for like getting that on campus. I mean, the SEC tournament comes here, whatever else comes here, like they set up on Broadway. It's fine. It's a good spot for things. Obviously, the draft was great, but it should be specific to Vanderbilt. And I thought that was great. It turned out, these things are all great advertisements for these programs, but some of them don't need it. Alabama gets 3 a year or whatever. It's like, yeah, great, good to see you again. Okay. For Vanderbilt, I just thought it was such a good advertisement for the program, the university, all that stuff. And then I thought the game was just I'm not surprised that it was. I mean, I thought it would have been a little higher scoring overall, probably on both sides. A little bit more of a defensive game than I thought. But, I mean, Missouri's tough. They got dudes on defense who are going to play on Sundays. They got a tough – I mean, they're running back, Ahmad Hardy, he is a very good running back. And it's too bad, obviously, what happened to Bo Prabula in that game. But then the freshman comes in, and he looks great. He's running around and making throws. And, some tough breaks. For Vanderbilt, they could have been in maybe a little bit better position. You had the tip pick and stuff like that. But I just thought it's just one of those, they had the will to win, and they had that fantastic drive. Penalties on that, were part of it. But ultimately just had to grind one out. And I think that's potentially, I might even say probably the best team they're going to see until they see Tennessee at the end, right? I mean, now I say that, and I don't know. I mean, maybe Texas is like rejuvenated from. I mean, to me, in my mind, I'm like Texas is toast.
Yeah.
And now they aren't, so they're still alive. So who knows? Maybe they'll be rejuvenated this weekend. But I think Missouri's a better team than them.
Yeah, I think right now for sure they are. And by the way, on the Bo Prabula front, and it looked like it was going to be really bad. Apparently, it's just a really bad sprain, and there's no break there. So that's good. Good to see, because anytime the air cast comes out, that's
right. You don't like seeing that.
You don't like seeing that. So, obviously that's a tough loss for Missouri, and I doubt with a sprain that bad he's going to be back anytime relatively soon, but better than what it could have been on that play. Yeah, I just thought it. Sometimes in this league, like you said, you got to grind one out, and that's what they did on Saturday. They grinded one out. You got a road test in Texas coming up, but you took care of business to the point where, again, we were talking about this at the Preds morning skate on Saturday. In College Game Day, it was on everywhere, and Willie and Max got back in there, and Max got Willie behind the stage of College Game Day, and it was awesome, just to see some photos from back there.
Nice.
Willie was 13 feet away from Nick Saban back there. And we were just talking about Vanderbilt clearly. I mean, and some of this is the ineptitude of the Titans. Obviously it's early in Predator season, but Vanderbilt is clearly, without a doubt, the story in this city right now. And it's not close. And when did we think that we would see that, right?
Yeah.
And I think Saturday was a good celebration of that, I guess is the way I'd put it.
Yeah, no doubt. No, and look, it's at this point, I mean, I think Indiana's already okay, I guess they're just great. They just destroy everyone. I mean, Vanderbilt is this year's Indiana in terms of the story of the sport too, right? At this point, holy crap. And again, there's a bigger story there of some of these different programs that are rising up and getting a seat at the table. But yeah, they're one of the top stories in college football. Pavia, I think, is one of the most recognizable, and boy, he's becoming polarizing too, by the way. Athletes and certainly college football players out there. So no, it is. It's wild. It is. It's like you get in the middle of a season and it's just the next game, and so it goes so fast. But you step back and you're like, man, just imagine this. Think about what we were talking about not long ago at all.
Yeah. About
Vanderbilt, just is there any hope at all? And now it's what could possibly stop them?
Yep. Tennessee gets the win against Kentucky, 56-34, the final. Offense looked great. Joey Aguilar looked great. Tennessee's got bad defense. I mean, there's no way around it. They got bad defense, and I wonder what that's going to look like. And we'll get into this later in the show, certainly later in the week. But it's essentially a playoff game for Tennessee on Saturday against Oklahoma. It's essentially what we got. It's a playoff game on Saturday.
Yeah, for both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's an elimination game. And look, I like their chances at home after watching Ole Miss and Oklahoma. But I'm with you. The Boo Carter play, man.
They might need to get him off the field. He's bad.
How do you? That shocked me.
If he's just not going to try out there, I don't know what
he could have tackled him at the 12th.
If you're just not gonna give effort, then I don't really know what we're doing here.
It's just
go find somebody else.
Apart from all the other stuff, it's you know, from the Tennessee aspect of it, it's like, dude, like you have so much talent.
Yep.
This is you know how much you're hurting yourself right now. It's very frustrating.
It's amazing
to watch.
And then there was the Titans, the 38-14 loss to the Indianapolis Colts. The game played out, Joe, I think exactly how we all expected for the game to play out. We talked about it on Friday heading into this game. It had basically like a UAB walking into Neyland Stadium, taking on Tennessee type feel to it. That's kind of the way it aired out on Sunday for the Colts. They win 38-14. They improved to 7-1. Titans dropped to 1-7. And you know, the funny part is, I actually thought Cam Ward played pretty well in this game, like relative to what the situation was for him. Like, it wasn't perfect. You know, he had the interception on the 4th down play, which, you know, is what it is at that point in the game. Game was over by that point anyway. But he ends up 22 of 38, 259, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Got sacked 4 times and a quarterback rating of 76.5. So again, like nothing there from a numbers perspective that's necessarily going to blow you away. I mean, you're talking about no Calvin Ridley in the game, an offensive line that continues from a play-to-play basis to really you're not knowing what you're getting out there. And Tim DK, he's pretty good, man. Like he's 7 catches, 93 yards, 8 targets. He got held a couple times where he probably could have had a bigger day from a stat standpoint. We know what he does in the return game. Like Tim DK, pretty good player for the Titans.
He's becoming one of the best stories, and maybe because like it looks like he's really figuring out how to play, run routes, all that stuff, and he's fast and he makes plays. And so, you know, and look, I think Ward throwing to the 3 young guys to different degrees is like the best thing going right now. I mean, I thought there was definitely some good stuff from Cam Ward in this game. Some bad stuff too. Iomander's wide open on that shot, and it's like, man, put air under it.
You got to keep running on that play, though. Like, Iomander got to keep going. He stopped in the middle of the route.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to look at it again. It still just looked like because he was kind of hemmed in by the
I think he
sideline,
might have sailed him anyway, but he definitely stopped running. Like, you got to keep going. And Cam's just screaming at him after the play.
Yeah.
You got to go, man. Keep going. I think he would have sailed it anyway, but still. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess maybe it's maybe a little bit of like, you know, young passing personnel figuring each other out. But at least there's something to watch there. But that's about where it ends.
That's about where it ends. We're going to get into the Titans day with the Colts yesterday. I will say, it's a pretty good football weekend for me. You know, we were talking in the pre-show meeting, extensive pre-show meeting. You know, Vols win. Packers take down Rodgers last night. Put up 210 points in the fantasy league. I didn't even get to the fact that within a span of about, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of each other, just soul-crushing losses for both Drinkwitz and Beamer back-to-back. It was beautiful. I was salivating in the press box. They had the game won, and then they didn't.
So you didn't want South Carolina to hold on to that game?
I did, but I mean, the fact
but
that
when they lost, it's like
I wasn't sad about it. I was like, you idiot. There we go.
Take heart in his misery.
Exactly. 615-737-1025, our phone number. We will get into the Titans' performance from yesterday and basically throw out this question. What in the world is there left to say about the Tennessee Titans at this point of the year? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 the game.
Joe's like super close. Robby's like super.
Well, that is close. It's like right in my face.
Zoom in. Like Alex Doherty on JT Miller type shit right there. I like it. JT?
Your thoughts.
Your thoughts? Get your fucking camera out of my face, man.
I guess I have to watch. I haven't seen it. So what Pavia said, like I should win the Heisman.
He got asked if he
sound
thinks
like a
that he
dick.
needs to be like if he should win the Heisman. He was just like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Because I've seen all this shit. It's like, what's his name? Fucking Marty Smith. Diego is a great young man.
Well,
fine young man.
How Tarbo, what do you think about him?
Yeah, I saw his tweet.
Yeah, about, he was in the
Yeah.
He said hi to all the workers. He wiped my butt for me.
I don't know. How about Jets rolling out the halfback pass?
Yeah, and shouldn't have thrown it, but it worked out. So did Cousins just suck yesterday, I'm assuming?
I did not see any of the game. I don't know.
He must have. Fucking Dolphins. Let's see that locker room. Good for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it's good to see him get a win.
Like, that's got to be the.
You're Michael.
Like, no, why?
They're saying we got a hot mic from the YouTube chat, but I don't know where that would come from.
Well, then I guess I won't start ripping Chase like I was about to.
And Mango stuff. Bad.
Awful. No, Justin
I didn't know he
Fields.
had kidney disease.
Justin Fields has had two of like the best quarterback games of the year, and then also like some of the worst quarterback games of all time.
Yeah, like
in the same year.
I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound?
Ooh, that's a very great point by William from Madison.
What's that?
Missouri ends up a yard shy on that Hail Mary, which makes up for the Titans St. Louis Super Bowl.
There we go. Are we hot somewhere here? YouTube's like, we got a hot mic, and I can't figure out where it's coming from.
After that first series, getting outscored 28-0 there was a tough way to start and get going, get rolling there. So we got to do a better job overall as an entire football team. And, the run defense, you got to be able to stop the run. We understand when we came in here against a really good team that runs the ball. We had missed opportunities, third down situations during the game early on, opportunity for big play. We didn't hit. So it's just, we got to play better.
That's Mike McCoy after the game yesterday. Titans lose 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis, very early in the year, Joe, has enjoyed 2 nice weeks against the Tennessee Titans. Unfortunately for them, they don't get to see them the rest of the year. But now 7-1 for the Colts. Colts are 5-0 at home, by the way. And Jonathan Taylor continues to have just an outstanding start to the year. 12 rushes, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday. So an average of 12.8 yards per carry for Jonathan Taylor yesterday. And he also added another touchdown through the air, 2 catches, 21 yards, 1 touchdown for him as well. So 3 touchdowns in total for Jonathan Taylor. And Daniel Jones, 21 of 29, 272, 3 touchdowns through the air, quarterback rating of 136. So they could not stop the passing attack for the Colts, could not stop the rushing attack for the Colts. And that was about what we thought heading into the game.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, apparently the first player to score 3 touchdowns against the same team in 3 straight games, which is an interesting stat. But the point is the Titans are that team. They are that team. Couldn't get much going defensively. I mean, he should have had a 200-yard. They should have found a way to get him a 200-yard game. I mean, it was there for the taking. But again, it's like Cam Ward throwing the ball. I liked a little bit of what we saw from Tyjae Spears. Dustin from Hopkinsville saying he should be running back 1. I think he does look like he's got a little bit more going than Tony Pollard right now. And I actually thought like, the offensive line, Mandor opened up a couple times there late. And
I don't know if that's ever going to get old.
provided free access to the QB. I thought, Latham, Quiddy Pay, I mean, it's a good player. I thought he did okay. I feel like Latham, I'd be interested to read like Bettingfield. I like Bettingfield's scouting every week for PK side, but I do feel like Latham had a better week. Not a great week. There's still a couple reps that looked pretty ugly. And I think their issue right now in like the Cushenberry Zeitler area seems to be where there's a lot of pressure coming through.
Yeah, it's a problem. There's no doubt about that. And like I said, 4 sacks yesterday for the Colts. So you've got that that's going on. It got to the point yesterday in the game where it's just like, man, other than watching Ward, obviously, and we mentioned, DK with a great game yesterday too. I don't really know what else to say about this team at this point, man. Like, it just kind of is what it is. I mean, they did run the ball a little bit better yesterday. They ran it 25 times in total. Ended up with 113 yards. Obviously the 41-yarder by Spears is kind of the main one there. I mean, to play this game. If you take that one away, they didn't do much on the ground, but you can't take it away. It's 41-yarder by Spears. So
but it would
nice play.
But it would be like 24 for 70, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be very good. But, good to see.
Explosives
nice to
are
see
good.
Some explosives in the running game. And, basically an even split in the running game. Spears with 9 carries, Pollard with 11 yesterday. So ended up kind of right in the middle of things there. So, offensively, you talk about all that. You talk about it, a little bit better of a day running the ball. You've got a passing attack that I thought looked okay yesterday, especially without Ridley coming in the game. And yet it still amounts to 14 points at the end of the day. And by the way, it was 7 for most of the game. And then the last touchdown comes way late as it's just totally over in garbage time.
Yep. Garbage time touchdown to get you to 14. It's a very tired story. And I'll say, we heard, I know we can get into this more if people want. I mean, I don't think Mike McCoy was any sort of real serious candidate anyway, but I just cannot believe the cowardly football.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And it's 2 straight weeks, and it's like, you're watching this and it's like, now look, I understand football has changed, and I think changed for the better with the aggressiveness. Math has demonstrated to coaches, like, it actually makes more sense to go in a lot more situations than they used to, right?
Yes.
Mike McCoy's coaching in 2012. And I mean, it's just absolutely insane to me that so 4th and 3 from the 42, right? Down 17-7 with the season you're having. Now let's go punt.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Absolute loser football. I just and you know what? I don't know.
Play?
No,
the next play that he broke off the 80-yard run?
Absolutely. Yeah. Next play, 80 yards in your face, game's over. I'll be interested to hear what people think about Cam Ward's reaction. You don't want to go all Mac Jones out there and screaming at Matt Patricia, although, it's kind of justified in its own right. But I don't think he crossed the line. He was just like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it, Mike. Come on.
I understand the camera caught it. I would imagine that type of a conversation happens all the time in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't have a problem with it.
It's one of those things where it's like the public showing up of the, some people have a problem with that.
Right.
I mean, to me, I don't think he crossed the line into nastiness. He was just like, Mike, what the hell?
Let's go for it.
I mean, it's just, come on, man.
Can we? I think that this was not going to be an issue anyway. But can we officially just go ahead and eliminate Mike McCoy from being considered for the head coaching job? Like, I don't think that was going to happen anyway. But like through the first 2 weeks, let's go pick a head coach from this large pool that they're going to have at the end of the year. Let's not waste time and mess around and think about hiring the interim head coach. Well, I mean, by the way, the team has shown absolutely no signs of that coaching bump that we talk about anyway. So I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it. But yeah, I guess let's not do the Mike McCoy thing.
Yeah, I know some.
I'm willing to pull the plug on that after 2 games.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it was a thing. I don't think, but yes, in case anybody had that thought, like this could be. Well, I threw it out there. Hey, malarkey happened. I don't think there's any danger of that happening. And I know some people think that some things look better. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they've done a few things maybe to simplify or whatever. I mean, they have some stretches where I think offensively they look a little better. But again, like you just said, it's like even with that, they find a way to not score points ever. They continue to be consistently not scoring points ever. But yeah, like that between this and then the thing last week before the half where it's like, and you go for points there. You have the situation absolutely demands you go for points, and they just again surrender Cobra. It's more offensive, I think, now. And I know like Dan Campbell's on the extreme other end, always going. Sometimes he's overboard, but like again, the math. I mean, there's like that surrender index or whatever the heck it is, and it was like 99.6 percentile of cowardly calls. Like no one does that anymore, and they shouldn't. It's made football better. Don't make it worse.
I saw the same. It was like the same tweet from like I don't know 50 people that I was watching at the time. I was like, "Can you fire the interim coach? Like, can you fire the interim coach after they decided to punt that ball on that
interim?
Yeah.
Can you have? Has anybody ever had an interim coach?
I'm gonna doubt it. You can make some history here if you're the Titans. Let's head back to the phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the show. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Robby, congrats on the Packers, man.
Thanks.
It's good. It's a good life. I mean, I can imagine that would be a pretty fun life. So I figured something about myself out this weekend, and I was so happy and elated on Saturday. And then, like, on Sunday, I wasn't even sad on Sunday, dude. I was just like, and I promise you, I've cared so much about this Titans team. But I'm looking back at them, dude. I'm like, this is the worst team we've ever had. Like, I'm thinking Bishop Sankey. I'm thinking the years where Mark Mariani had to plug our season tickets because we had nobody else. Like, this is the worst team we've ever had, dude. Like, they are so bad. Vandy would compete with this team. I'm not saying they would beat them, but they would compete with them. Like, we're horrible, dude. Like, I was so happy to see Vandy and UT play the way they did, and the Preds are playing and competitive, and the Titans are giving me nothing. Amy is terrible. I hope she fires herself. I hope she sells this freaking team. Like, it's Brinker. Are you in love with him? Is that why you hired him? Like, is it something weird about that? Because he sucks. Our roster sucks, man. This is the worst team ever. I wanted to say that because I'm like, it's way past. I think it's past apathy at this point. It's just like I don't even care. I mean, I had it on in the background, but like I would have to go watch it to be able to tell you everything that happened in that game, and that's never happened. It's never been like that for me. So horrible Tennessee Titan team.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. All over the place with that caller. I like it.
Got a lot out there. You got a lot out there in one call. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to touch this college team would compete with this NFL team. Not going to do it.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. More of your reaction to get to. Colts win 38-14 yesterday against the Tennessee Titans. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 the game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Titans lose 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts. Taking your thoughts on that. We will get back into Vanderbilt's big win over the weekend later in the program as well. Tennessee takes down Kentucky, and we will get into all of that throughout the show today. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in David to the program. David, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Enjoy the show. Just had a quick question for you just to get your thoughts. I know the Jets picked up their first win yesterday, scored 39 in the process. Did the Titans kind of solidify their hold on being the worst team in the NFL, regardless of record yesterday?
Thank you for the call, David. I mean, I think they are. I think they – look, there's a chance here, Joe. Look, they may win a game or two more along the way. We'll see what happens. There is a chance that we could get to the end of this thing and look back at the season and say, wow, go back and look at that Arizona Cardinals game. It's basically the act of God that it took for the Titans to win that game. And that is the one win that they finished with this year. That very well could happen.
My goodness. That's crazy. But yeah, I think you may have a point there.
I mean, look, the Saints are bad. The Jets, I know they scored 39 yesterday. The Jets are bad.
Cleveland's
bad. Cleveland at least has good defense. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks yesterday.
That's insane.
So, but yeah, I think the Titans they're the worst team. And the fact that they won that Arizona game, again, the more distance that we get away from it, continues to be just amazing, the set of events that had to happen for the Titans to win that game.
Right. And 0-16 last time it happened. Detroit Lions, 2008. What a magical year. 0-17 just sounds. It's just one more game, but it just sounds. It just sounds even much more special. And the Titans could have had that, but the Arizona game happened. No, they got a real shot at 1-16. The Jets. Jets are really bad too. That's the weirdest thing. I mean, Justin Fields was incredible yesterday. And he's had some huge the last 2 performances, he was 6 for 12 for 46 yards, 9 for 17 for 45 yards. And
just
he
needed the owner to call him out.
Absolutely yeah. Outside noise.
Outside noise.
I love that. I know he owns a team, but that's outside noise. Good for you. Because what are you gonna do? When the contract, screw you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you, Justin Fields.
You gotta watch out for that outside noise.
So they're capable.
My boss.
Yeah. Hey man, check's still gonna clear. They're bad. And by the way, I don't know if anybody watched the end of that game and saw the cornerback who made the game clinching play. His name was Jarvis Brownlee. Kind of a nice pickup for the Jets there.
Yep.
So it'll be a race. It'll be a race to the end. But that performance from the Jets, and I know obviously the Bengals aren't world beaters, but they have been playing well offensively with Flacco, and they continued to. The Titans, I don't know. Again, we're hey, pretty good yesterday. Cam looked all right.
He's all right.
14 points.
Yeah.
And the defense is atrocious. And obviously not, Simmons will come back and they'll get better defensively, but they were bad with him playing great.
Well, exactly. And even I think the Pittman catch in the end zone yesterday is a pretty good example of even when they're in pretty good spots, they're just not making plays, right? I don't know that you could be closer to Michael Pittman than Jalen Armour-Davis was on the play, and he reaches back with one hand and pins it to his body and catches the touchdown in the end zone. There's well, that about sums up the Titans right there. Even when they're there, they're not really there.
Right. Yeah, it was actually hey, that's a good rep, good coverage, but then it's how did that happen?
How did he catch
still?
Yeah. Just
sorry.
It's tough to see. And again, as we discussed heading into the game, Tyler Warren is just a great pick for the Colts. He's going to be he already is good. He's going to be really, really good, and a problem that they've got to deal with for a long time.
Yeah, he's a stud. No doubt. Beyond the Titans being terrible for Titans fans, the Colts, they're talking about the Colts being the best team in the AFC yesterday on the pregame and postgame shows. And it's I don't know that I necessarily buy that yet, but it is a discussion point. It's worth talking about.
Yeah.
They're really good. and talk about just to make all of this worse, a team that we thought would be pretty bad and that there'd be some shared misery with Colts and Titans fans. But no, actually, they're actually really good, and they just destroyed you like it was like an FBS against FCS. Real quick, Charles from College Grove says, here's how bad it is. I returned to B&A during the third quarter. The bars had Tampa Bay, New Orleans on their TVs, and that game was 23-3.
Yeah, it's like put the Bucks game on.
Let's pretend the Titans don't exist.
By the way, Jonathan Taylor, the overwhelming favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year award in the NFL right now. He is minus 250 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Next closest is Jackson Smith and Jigba at plus 600. So a heavy favorite for Jonathan Taylor to be the Offensive Player of the Year. Played Titans twice already, and he's looked like the Offensive Player of the Year in both of them. I think he scored 6 touchdowns in 2 games against the Titans.
Yeah, so 9 in the last 3. But yeah, 6 this year. Yeah. And think about that too. That when you talk about the Colts and the last few years and all the turmoil and how many, frankly, all you Colts fans who listen, how many of you are like, yeah, get out of here with this contract. Yeah, we don't need a running back. Who cares about running backs? Get out of here. Pretty fortuitous that he ended up staying in the fold, huh?
Quick aside, speaking of running back, sorry about your boy yesterday, Scadaboo.
No, that
dislocated
sucks.
ankle.
That really sucks, man. That really sucks. I mean, even it stinks for him. He's going to be a hell of a player. We can all see this now, right? But even like for the Giants, they've kind of become fun, and I don't think it's going to go well for them. I know it's just a running, but he is a big part of what they've been doing. Absolutely.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Kenny, the mailman, to the program. Kenny, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, good friends. Appreciate y'all being on. Question for you, young Robert. You have alluded 3 or 4 times to your dislike of the Missouri coach, but we don't know the backstory. I hope there's a good one there. I'd like to hear that. But before I go, we were in a restaurant yesterday afternoon with the Titans game was on, and the screen came on. Signal lost due to satellite weather. Stay tuned. And 5 people started clapping. I'm not joking to that. It was like, really? This really got this back. But we've got to hear the Missouri story because, all you have to do is mention his name and you almost hear you gritting your teeth. You have a good day.
Appreciate it. There's really not much story to it. It's mainly his face.
The story is Robby is very easily annoyed by D-bags.
Yeah, it's really his face. Like, he just thinks he's some tough guy out there. And then, I go back to the Heupel thing a couple years ago. He's like, we're standing on business, Josh. And then he takes off running the other way before Heupel can even see what he says. Like, he's just a weasel. That's what it is.
Now, I will. So to repeat that for people who don't know, Kenny may not know that story, but they beat Tennessee, a couple years ago. It was kind of an ugly game for Tennessee. And he's like, we're standing on business.
But he didn't even, like, if you're going to talk trash to the opposing coach, like, hang around to talk trash. Don't do the drive-by and then run away.
Yeah, I agree. Heupel's like, what
I haven't even know what he said. He's like, what?
What happened?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you see Bill Self and what's his name in Louisville yesterday?
No, I did not watch the college basketball
exhibition. I don't expect you to watch the game. By the way, Tennessee Duke had a pretty good one, but the post game.
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
Okay.
I was like, gee, Bill Self, maybe get a little. It was like handshaking, like really aggressive handshaking,
right.
But talking a little trash. Not bad.
Maybe that's what Mike McCoy needs to do. Spice things up a little bit around here. Start going after the other coach. Or if you're not going to go for it on 4th down and 3 and get after the other coach.
Do something other than bore the hell out of everyone.
Oh, man. Just
and apparently PK's mad at him because of what he's players talk first. I don't know. And he's like, that's what they told me to do.
PK's getting after Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
Joey
he doesn't
Sly,
seem to be a big fan.
He does not. Joey Sly missed his only attempt yesterday right before the half. So, like, it was, it's 17-7 at that point. The Titans do a decent job driving into somewhat field goal range, getting in the field goal range, and then you miss the kick right before the half, and it just kind of felt like, well, that's it. So you combine that with what happened right out of the half of you make the decision in a 17-7 game on 4th down and short to punt the ball, and you net like 20 yards out of the punt, and then you immediately give up an 80-yard rush. Like that entire sequence just kills you. I mean, you can't overcome that.
Yeah, it encapsulates. Well, I think again, like how bad of a decision that was, but also it kind of sums up the Titans pretty well too, at large. Yeah, 22 yard net when there is no excuse. Yet your rookie quarterback is so mad about it. He's yelling again. I don't think it was a problem, but he's yelling like, "Dude, what are we doing?" Basically, and you immediately pay for it.
Yeah, it's like you play the field position game and then you give up an 80-yard scamper.
It's a different situation, but I'm trying to remember what the play was. But if anybody remembers that Monday Night Football game in Houston when Vrabel was coaching, they did something really stupid to go. I think it may be some trick play or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Was that like the Luke Stocker play? When was the Luke Stocker play? Was that Malarkey? I can't remember who that was.
It might have been Luke Stocker, but then the Texans get it the one, and the next play is a 99-yard touchdown run or 98-yard, whatever. Yeah,
that's tough one.
But that was at least like, okay, goofy trick play or whatever. This is like again,
cowardice.
Yeah, it's offensive now in today's football. It's offensive to see a decision like that.
Well, particularly when you're 1-6 and you're the interim head coach. What do you have to lose?
I got to be careful. I got to lose these games close so I can get the job.
It's like, dude. I mean, if there's ever a time to go for it, you're in it, man. Like it's your team. You're 1-6. Everybody's probably getting fired at the end of the year anyway. Go for it.
Right. Charles Davis at one point, it was a different situation, I think, or maybe it was that. I don't know, but he was like, there is something to like the rookie quarterback. You don't want to, basically have fail or whatever, too much negative stuff.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm not exactly phrasing it how he did, but I don't know. I disagree. Like I understand the idea of like, you don't want a rookie quarterback to lose confidence.
Right.
So you don't want things, but also like you have to fail too, right? Like anybody succeeded who hasn't failed along the way. I think that's a big part of the process. Let them make plays, put him on the field and put him in tough situations, pressure situations, see how he does.
Well, who knows? Like you might actually convert.
You might actually succeed.
Yeah.
I actually like your chances. Okay. On a 4th and 3.
615-737-1025, our phone number. What did we make of Cam Ward's day throwing the football? And what do we make of where he's at right now through the 8-game mark with the situation being what it is around him? We'll take your thoughts on all that. We'll get back into the Vanderbilt game coming up at 7 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingan will be broadcasting live at the all-new Circus Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall today prior to the Monday Night Football game. NFL matchup tonight is the Commanders taking on the Chiefs. Interesting Monday Night Football game tonight. Figure your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Since you're the expert on punchable faces, what do you think about Shane Steichen?
I mean, he's on the list.
Is he? Yeah, he's a little bit annoying. Maybe it's just, it's like people win all of a sudden and they become annoying and you're just like,
Sirianni's on the list. There's a few people on the list out there.
Yeah. They're showing all the coaches with the winning
victory
coaches
speeches.
with the victory speeches. We have to see all the victory speeches now. By the way, I know we're going to talk more Vandy later, but I think Clark Lee's like when the ESPN's getting the pregame, the postgame, he's doing some good stuff, man.
He is.
He's bringing it. Good job, Clark.
He is. What did you make of Cam Ward overall yesterday? We went through the numbers earlier, 22 of 38, 259, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, quarterback rating of 76.5. He averaged 6.8 per completion yesterday. What did you think? What you saw from Cam Ward?
Yeah, I thought it was, to me, just some of the best stretches that we've seen this year. Just, every game there's like a couple throws where you're like, whew.
Yeah.
I thought yesterday there were probably 5 or 6. Yeah, not like, oh my gosh, throws, but like that was on time with velocity, catchable, perfect read, quick, balls out. I'm interested to see like what Bedingfield thinks if he's seeing progress. It seems like maybe there is some now. Again, the Iowa Manor play, whatever happened there, I do feel like it was a sale. There were a couple others where it's just miss the throws. I also thought a couple of times I thought he was a little bit more aggressive, breaking the pocket and looking to run, and you just have to do that some. You got to do that a little bit more. So I thought it was, I thought it was a step forward. Maybe not a huge step forward, but a step forward.
I think you'll take any step forward at this point, right? Like just even if it's incremental, I think you have to take. And again, I didn't walk away from the game yesterday thinking, oh man, I mean, what a performance that just turns the corner and he's just going to start ripping it the rest of the way. But I thought it was, given the circumstances of who they were playing and what he didn't have available to him on his own offense, I thought it was pretty good. Again, the most encouraging thing from yesterday continues to be DK. Like he's a pretty good player. They may have found a pretty good player there in the 4th round. I know earlier in the year we were kind of focused in on Io Manor, and he was fine yesterday. I think he had 4 catches for 52 yards for Io Manor on 8 targets yesterday. So, okay. But DK, 7 catches, 93 yards, 8 targets. And again, he got held on another play. Like he's a problem. He was causing issues for the Colts in the secondary yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of them, Io Manor and DK, are going to be parts of the future of this team. It's like if you can find someone to be like a true one, I know that's Ridley now, but I think that's part of the idea moving forward is to have like a true one with those 2 guys as your next 2. I think, again, if they keep getting better, then you could have something. And maybe Io Manor was ahead of DK earlier, but there's just a total difference in explosiveness there. DK he stands out in the field with his speed.
Yeah.
And so again, if he's gonna continue to grow in the technical side of the position, there's a lot that goes into it. Man, he could really be one heck of a find in the 4th round.
Well, and again, we're 1-7 here, talking about a long slog still left to go. We're not even Halloween yet. Okay. So there's a lot of football left to be played. And like we said earlier, there's a limitation with this team right now of like what to talk about, what's new, because it's the same stuff every week. We're talking about the quarterback maybe taking a little bit of a step forward yesterday, and they still end up with 14 points on the board. So it just kind of feels like every week it's Groundhog Day over and over and over again with this group. At this point, I mean, can Cam Ward power through? Number one, can he stay healthy the rest of the year? That's the main thing. But number 2, can he power through and show a little bit of progress as the year goes on? I mean, I don't know that he and or this team are going to have the capability of, from this point till January, the end of the year, there being major progress. At this point, I don't see that. Like, I don't think that's operating within the world of realism. I don't think that January is going to come around and you're going to be like, wow. I mean, Cam Ward for the last 3 weeks has thrown for 300 yards. He's averaging 3 touchdowns a game. He's not turned the ball over. Like, I don't think this team is equipped for that. So in the meantime, as you're trying to get to the end of this thing and figure out who your next head coach is going to be and hopefully continuing to churn the roster at the end of the year, you know, can he learn some things from this experience? And by the end of the year, do you look at him and say, there was some progress as the year went on in a situation that's just totally crap around him? That's where we're at.
Yeah. As bad as this thing is, if we're at the end and we're not having, we don't have topics that are like, should the Titans consider something else next year?
Right.
We're not having topics like, how about that Fernando Mendoza? Then that's a win. And I honestly, I think we'll get there. I think there's enough with him. Again, we'll see. That's really the only interest left.
Well,
and it's weeks and weeks. But there is a lot. There's a lot of football. But I mean, at this point, I think there's enough there that we're not going to have some dramatic, crazy conversation about the number 1 overall pick after 1 year.
And I would, just to underscore that, to me, it would have to be so bad, given the rest of their roster right now and what you could hopefully do by acquiring more picks. It would have to be so bad for you to entertain that discussion at the end of the year. And again, it's not been great to this point. I also don't think it's been so bad with him that we're there at the moment. So we'll see if that can continue throughout the course of the year.
But I guess as it always,
hold strong, Cam.
Yeah, what's that?
Hold strong, Cam.
Yeah, there you go. Hang in there, buddy. Well, as we say this, it's just like with any quarterback, it's amazing. By the way, I'm going through the YouTube chat. Apparently the hot mic was hot, and I hope I said some awesome stuff in there. Did I say anything really funny?
I mean, you're a funny guy.
You guys put in the chat what I said during the hot mic. But Jeff here is like, I'm afraid Cam sucks. Stop coddling Cam. Please, people, why make excuses for him? He isn't balling. He's missing wide open receivers for Pete's sake. Well, that, like, we've talked about that, Jeff. He wasn't perfect yesterday. You didn't think he made any plays yesterday? So some people are going to be that. You and who's our guy who is the biggest Cam hater in the world?
Trey?
The very kind Cam hater.
Yeah, Trey.
Yeah, Trey. You people are out on him. Some people are, when he has bad days, are like, what are you talking about? This guy's going to be amazing. It's all everybody else's fault. I mean, yeah, Joe Blacko, agree. Cam was fine. He's getting better. I think that's fair assessment right now. It's not coddling him. That was one of his better days, yeah, I think.
I would agree. And he's also, like, to point that out, he's had some bad days in there. So it's not like there's a ton of great days to choose from.
For sure.
So,
yeah, but again, it has to be like atrocious.
Yes.
Like disastrous to consider the number 1 overall pick not being your quarterback next year. He's going to be their quarterback next year.
Yes. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Vanderbilt gets the win against Missouri and some other developments in the SEC. What do we make of the path to the college football playoff after another week for the doors? We'll get into that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Monday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home with the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. We will have Cory Curtis from News 2 with us at 8 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans and the Colts. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Vanderbilt gets the win against Missouri, 17-10. College game day was in town. They were the story of college football, and they roll off yet another win at home. They've moved up to number 9 now in the AP poll, so continuing to just vault up the rankings there is Vanderbilt football.
So that's their highest ranking since 1937. The poll started in 1936, so I think we're done going back on that now. This is pretty much, this is it.
That's the best Vanderbilt team ever. Yeah, and it's what it is. So how are they going to finish here? You know, it was an important weekend in the SEC that kind of factors into this Vanderbilt discussion. You had Ole Miss and Oklahoma loses, a huge win for Ole Miss on the road. You had LSU with now their third loss, and they have canned the coach. Brian Kelly is out at LSU, so back-to-back losses to Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, and Brian Kelly has been shown the door, so we'll get into that, I'm sure, throughout the rest of the week here. It's going to be an absolutely wild coaching search in college football. It's just going to be nuts, and then I'm looking forward to it.
It's crazy, and it's almost like if you're considering finding your coach right now, I mean, at some point you got to look around and be like, "Gee, where are we on the list?"
Oversaturated.
Yeah, of the people trying to get this coach or that coach. And the buyouts. I mean, here we go with another $50 million plus one. I just covered Michigan State game this weekend. Michigan State's probably about to fire their coach in his second year. That's a $33 million buyout. I mean, it's wild. Wisconsin and Fickle, on and on and on.
So you've got all that going on. Vanderbilt gets the win. Texas, it looked like, was in serious trouble at Mississippi State. I think they were down 38-21 at one point. They come back and they win the game in overtime. By the way, some absolutely crushing losses for Mississippi State so far this year, which has been interesting to watch. But you got Vanderbilt and Texas coming up this weekend at 11 a.m. in Texas. After that, as we talked about last week, you got Auburn and Kentucky at home if you're Vanderbilt. Auburn gets a win against Arkansas over the weekend. And then you close things out with Tennessee. Like I said it last week, if you could get the Missouri game, you are sitting pretty when it comes to college football playoff discussion. Certainly sitting pretty, you would think, in what would be heading into that Tennessee game for the last week of the year. Now, Texas, I have no idea what to expect with Texas on Saturday because we talked all week about how good their defense is, and then they gave up 38 to Mississippi State over the weekend. And you talked about it, it's a different offense, challenging offense to deal with. So maybe it's just as simple as that. But, I haven't looked at the line yet for Vanderbilt and Texas. I am very interested to see what that is heading into it. What's your guess on what that line is?
I got $20 on it with Stilly, so I need Texas by a point.
It is Texas minus 2.5.
There we go. You owe me money, sucker. I do wonder, had that game not flipped, which was like this insane punt return and all this stuff that happened. I mean, Mississippi State, boy, that's a tough one. They're completely dominating. But what if that just would have continued and they win by double figures? Yeah. Is it different? Is Vanderbilt favored? Maybe. So I think this is not good. But for all the amazing stuff that's going on with Vanderbilt, you think about Texas just losing that game and they're out. They're done. So we got Sarkisian out here. Somehow is okay with his agent putting it out there that he's looking at the NFL right now. I can't imagine how that would have helped his team and its mindset going into that game. So that's out there. So you lose that game, you're out of the playoff. All we're talking about, okay, where's Arch going to be next year? Where's Sark going to be next year? Blow it up. Meanwhile, Texas A&M might be the best team in the country, and they're about to kick your ass later in a few weeks. So enjoy all that. Instead, they win that game, and I'm sure they're still most Texas fans are still like, this is supposed to be the best team in college football. It's not even close to that, but they're alive. like they're alive, and actually Vanderbilt, top 10 team coming to their house, that would be a huge win.
Yep.
That would all of a sudden give them a chance to get back into the discussion. So for all the great things that are going on for Vanderbilt, that finish of that game is not good to me, because they have new life now, and they have a purpose this week, whereas they would have had nothing for this game. And I think I would have had a hard time picking against Vanderbilt in this game, but now I don't know. But I also don't think Texas is very good either.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was important for Vanderbilt to be able to come out and win a game when your offense didn't have their best stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
for sure.
We've talked about Vanderbilt's defense. I thought they rose to the occasion, did a great job. Some huge plays in that game, some huge stops on fourth down in that game. Like they did a really good job of kind of bowing up when you needed them to.
And just ripping the ball away to set up the winning touchdown.
Right. And if you told me heading into the game that Vanderbilt scored 17 points in the game, I would have probably said, well, that's probably not very good for Vanderbilt. Like, they'd probably lose. So to be able to win a game like that, I think is crucial for them. Now, what does that mean for their defense moving forward? And, like, can your offense bounce back and get back on track this week against the Texas defense that, Mississippi State game aside, has been pretty darn good throughout the year?
Yeah, right. Now that there's also, as Jared brings up, and I don't know, I don't know that he's out for sure, but Arch could be out.
Could be. We'll see.
And the backup came in through a TD pass. I don't know if you're Vanderbilt, if you give truth serum, is
Who
it
would
like,
you rather see?
yeah, who do you want him out, or would you like him to play? But again, his numbers end up, he did make some big time throws in that game amid the comeback.
Yes.
Also, as they built that league, he had very bad numbers and was doing very poorly. So I don't know. They have a lot of talent still. It's going to be a really interesting game, but that's the thing is, I mean, look, Vanderbilt still has the mulligan, and Auburn did turn it on and beat Arkansas on the road, and so they're still kind of like they're dangerous to me. But you know what? I just have to like Vanderbilt in those two home games. So if they have a mulligan left, you'd love to like not even have to win in Knoxville, and you're playing for I guess probably a spot in Atlanta. / talking about getting a bye, as opposed to you have to win to get in. And that to me is what this week represents.
Yeah, if you could go on the road, get this win, barring an upset from Auburn or Kentucky. And by the way, like, Kentucky's not beating Vanderbilt. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there. They're not very good. And Tennessee's offense or defense made them look halfway decent on offense the other day. Kentucky's not very good. Speaking of coaches that could get fired, like, I'm looking at him, and I know that the buyout's a lot, and I know that, Kentucky football doesn't necessarily have the type of money to be thrown around that some of these other programs do, but I wonder if he could be next on the list.
Stoops. Yeah, he could be. But again, it's like him, Freeze, Auburn, and Freeze. Are there going to be some teams that are like, well, next year the bye will be a little. But the problem is if you have no, momentum and everybody's out on it, like it's not a great idea to just have a lame duck coach.
Well, the thing is, like, Vanderbilt could end up winning out. They could win out and go 11-1 and still not be in the SEC championship game. I mean, A&M's undefeated. Alabama's at 7-1 right now. They're 5-0 in the conference, and they got the tiebreaker over you. Like, so they could win out and still not head to Atlanta.
Which I understand, and I know, like, Vanderbilt fans thinking about their team playing Atlanta. I get that would be amazing for all of you, but also there is something to be said for just, okay, we're 11-1 and
we'll see.
We'll rest up.
Yeah.
Good luck. You guys bash each other's heads in there. Maybe Tony Petitti was onto something. Let's just have like a big round robin euchre tournament, and
maybe so.
Put it on TV.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. More of your thoughts on Vanderbilt's win against Missouri. We'll get to Tennessee's takedown at Kentucky as well. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Mondays were made for Macero. Big screens, bold flavors, and all the football actions. From queso to kickoffs, this is how Macero does game night. Macero Football Mondays in 12 South. Don't miss a snap. Vanderbilt gets the win against Missouri. Taking your thoughts on that on our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's welcome in Tim to the program on our phone line. Tim, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Morning, guys. Hey, you were talking about, if we go down to Texas and we get beat, then we're probably out of the playoff picture.
No, we didn't say that.
They're definitely not out of the playoff
we
picture.
We got 2 losses. Okay. But Tennessee has 2 losses, and they're still very much in the playoff picture, right?
Yeah, Vanderbilt would also still be in. We've been saying that. Yeah. What we're saying is if they lose this game, then that game at Tennessee, if they get there with 2 more wins than the next 2 games, would be basically
elimination
to get in. Right.
Okay, I apologize because I misunderstood you. Anyway, but if you look at Tennessee's resume and you look at Vanderbilt's and you don't have a name on there, who's got the better resume?
Well, Vanderbilt does at the moment for sure. I mean, we talked about that last week. Tennessee doesn't have a good win yet. Like they
don't have a top 25 win.
They could get a couple here. Like they got Oklahoma coming up on Saturday, and if they get Vanderbilt at the end of the year, then there's 2 good wins there, and they're probably in. But at the moment, Vanderbilt definitely has a better resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we played probably, besides the Alabama game, our worst game of the year against Missouri, and guess what? We won.
Yeah.
In years past, Vanderbilt would not have won that game.
No, there's no doubt about that. Tim, thank you for the call.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. That was it's not a super impressive win. It's a good opponent. They got some talent. They're well coached despite the punchable face. And that is, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And that is that's a culture character win.
Yeah,
it is. Like that means a lot, actually. Now it doesn't guarantee anything moving forward, but though every great team has to have wins like that.
Yeah, and look, the resume part of it. If Vanderbilt ends the season here with 2 losses, regardless of where they come, like if they lose to Texas this week and then they rent out, or if they win all the way to Tennessee and then they lose in Knoxville and they're 10-2, if they're 10-2 at the end of the year, they're getting in. Vanderbilt's getting in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Tennessee, it's going to be interesting. Tennessee, to me, Joe, really needed Oklahoma to win that game against Ole Miss. They didn't. So, Oklahoma has Tennessee Saturday and then Alabama the next week. And then I think they close with LSU, and I can't remember who their last game is. But it's a really difficult schedule for Oklahoma. So, Tennessee, number one, you have to win on Saturday. But you also, if you beat Oklahoma, you need Oklahoma to roll off some wins at the end of the year.
They closed with LSU.
Yeah, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. So, I don't know if, asking Oklahoma to go on the road and beat Alabama in a couple weeks, I don't know how realistic that's going to be. I guess we'll see. But you would definitely, if you're Tennessee, you definitely need Oklahoma at the end of the year, if you win this game, to beat Missouri and LSU at the end of the year. You need that win to look as good as possible if you're Tennessee.
Yes. No doubt. That's the thing. Vanderbilt represents.
Yeah.
A nice feather in your cap if you can get to that game and you still have 2 losses and you get that win. Our projections at the Athletic, Austin Mock's model hates Vanderbilt. It's even like David Ubben interviewed him last week. He's like, "Why do you hate Vanderbilt?" And he's like, "I don't know." But even now, right, he doesn't have them in the field.
Right now?
Yeah, right now, not in the field. They are on the bubble. They are the second. The Louisville's ahead of them, then Vanderbilt, then Cincinnati, then Tennessee. So, but again, that's just interesting to me. But to your point, I think any 10-2 team, in the Big Ten and SEC, well, in the SEC is going to get in. Michigan actually could be 10-2, which is crazy. They're not very good. Just saw them the other night. They just got a randomly easy ass schedule.
Yeah.
They have no wins at all. They got blown up by USC, but they
got beat by Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah, beat Oklahoma. If you beat Ohio State at home, which, I mean, based on Ryan Day's history, then you're going to get in as a so-so team. But, like, to me, Vanderbilt, for example, is a lot better than that team. But I think in the SEC, I mean, look, the SEC is going to get 4 in and maybe could get 5 in.
Well, right now the SEC has 9 teams that are at 2 losses or fewer. Now that's going to change because some of these teams play each other. Like Tennessee, Oklahoma, somebody's moving to 3 this weekend, right? So it's not going to shake out that way at the end of the year, and it'll probably take care of itself. But I do wonder, like, how many teams end up finishing 10-2 or better in the SEC, and what's that going to mean in terms of who gets in and what that looks like?
Yeah, that's the thing. So we've talked about the possibility of a 9-3 team getting in, which I do think is still possible this year, with all the stuff that could happen. But there is other stuff that could happen where you could be sitting there at 10-2, and it's like, well, you can't all get in.
Right. Like,
again, this projection has or not projection, it's right now, if the field, he has Ole Miss, A&M, Georgia, Alabama. Those 4 teams, and not Vanderbilt.
But there is a scenario. I don't know if it's a likely one, but there is a scenario where Tennessee could go 10-2 and not get in. Like if Oklahoma just craters here and they lose out. I mean, you're talking about, you look at Tennessee's schedule at the end of the year and you're like, okay, well, Oklahoma ended up 7-5 or whatever they are. You get the one good win against Vanderbilt, and then you've got 2 good losses to Georgia and Alabama, but there's just not a whole lot of good wins on the schedule for Tennessee.
And by the way, that's why if you're a Tennessee fan, you may be annoyed by all this Vanderbilt stuff. Root for them to win at Texas.
Yes, exactly.
Root for that potential win to be as valuable as possible. If they lose at Texas and Auburn rises up and gets them, that could be the difference.
Yeah. Let's head back to our phone line. Welcome in Mark in Nashville to the program. Mark, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Robby? How you doing, Reverend Joe?
Good, Mark. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hey, first of all, I'm gonna apologize to the Vanderbilt fans. If y'all remember, I said they'd go 5-7. I got cussed out about that, but hey, look, they have really shown and proven to me they're a great team. Clark Lee ought to not just be SEC coach of the year; he ought to be national coach of the year. Diego should be higher on the Heisman list than he is. And they do have a great team. And I'm going to give them a puncher's chance against Texas, even though that game's at Texas. Texas is struggling right now, but I think Vanderbilt can match up with them and hopefully pull an upset down in Austin. But I think that they really have a great opportunity to get into the playoff. I really wouldn't underestimate them right now, man. They can beat anybody on any given day. But these Cam Ward, I'm going to go back to what y'all was talking about earlier, Robby. These Cam Ward haters need to stop, man. Give Cam a chance. He's just a rookie. He's learning the game. He's got 2 good wide receivers. They're also rookies. Lay off Cam. Cam's going to be okay and stuff. Shame what happened to Brian Kelly over the weekend, but Joe, I want to see if you agree with me. I think he laid down on LSU, and he was ready to go anyway. If you look at the expressions on his face. And Robby, quit hating that coach at Missouri. I know you want to punch him in the mouth, man, but leave him alone. He'll be okay, man.
Thank you,
and
Mark.
Robby, also before I go, Jordan Love took a step up last night with Green Bay.
Look pretty good.
Look pretty good out there, Robby. But Uncle Joe, Robby, y'all have a good day, man. We'll see y'all.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
That's about 5 different topics at once.
He did.
Mark,
He hit the topics there for sure. Jordan Love did look good. And you should focus your hatred on Beamer. Beamer's poor Beamer. That would have been so big for Beamer.
Yeah, you really hate to see
it. Oh my goodness.
One texter says, I'm a Vols fan through and through. Mentally stable up to say Vanderbilt's the team we've circled on our schedule now. Vanderbilt's slate the rest of the season looks like a win-out trip to the SEC championship if they end it strong. Not only does Tennessee have this game at the end of the year to deal with, also got to go to Florida and win in their stadium, which they haven't done since 2003. On edge is an understatement from Tennessee. Quickly on the Tennessee front, they beat Kentucky. The offense looked good against Kentucky. They put up 56. They probably could have put up more. Like Joey Aguilar played great.
That was a beauty. That one deep shot was a beauty.
It was really good. Tennessee's defense is bad. And because of that, it's just really hard to trust them moving forward. I I think John Mateer may have himself a game on Saturday against that defense. At this point, it'll be November by the time that game rolls around. I'm just going to assume that we're not going to see Jermon McCoy at this point. If you do, then I guess it's gravy then, but it's November. Like I'm going to assume that he's not going to be out there. And at this point in the season, I think you just kind of are what you are. Tennessee's a really good offense, and their defense is bad, and they'll force some turnovers every now and then. And they did it again the other night, scored a touchdown. For as bad as they are on defense, they are pretty good at forcing turnovers and scoring touchdowns on the defensive side of the thing, but they're lost in coverage out there. It's crazy.
And this is almost the opposite of what I thought this team would be.
Yeah.
That they'd have another really good defense and had big questions about the offense. It's I think beyond frustrating at this point that they haven't been able to figure more out on defense. There's too much talent there. So, people mad at Tim Banks, and I get it. I mean, they should be able to figure something out. I wonder, this has nothing to do with like run fits and, linebackers in coverage and things like that. But I do wonder, like, Boo Carter's presence, if it's just a problem. I mean,
yeah,
that play, like, you can't possibly be respected by your teammates after
it's embarrassing.
And I mean, what is the film when they go through film? I assume today, they might have done it yesterday, but like the film session on that. This is the thing in this day and age, like no one wants to call anybody out, but my God,
I'm not joking. I think we're getting close to the point with him where you'd probably be better off playing somebody else. I know that he's more talented than the other guys you got in that spot, but if he's not going to play, like if he's not going to try, then what are you doing out there? Like if he's got 1 foot out the door already and he's transferring at the end of the year, just rip the Band-Aid off, man. Let's go. Put somebody else in there.
Yeah, I think it's clear, like, and I get it. Like, even if it's ending, okay, well, get use out of that talent this year. He can do things for you. But I'm with you. If you're the rest of that team, what does that say?
615-737-1025 is our phone number. More of your thoughts to get to on the college football, Vanderbilt and Tennessee front. We will do that. We'll get back into the Titans. All of that ahead. Cory Curtis coming up at 8 o'clock. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. The Blue Raiders will take on Jacksonville State this Wednesday at 6:30. Catch all the action on Totally Hits 93.3 with coverage also available on the Totally Hits Nashville app and at TotallyHitsNashville.com. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. One texter saying Diego Pavia, overrated for the Heisman Trophy. Aguilar has way better stats in the SEC. Joe, your thoughts? Is Pavia being overrated, overblown in the Heisman discussion?
I should have told you not to read this because I was going to do this for my rant.
No, sorry.
That's okay. We could just keep it going. Yeah. So first of all, I like that. I like this. The Tennessee fan, who's like, screw Pavia, he's overrated. Aguilar way better stats. I said the Heisman is about way more than stats. He responded, all I've been hearing is how Pavia's playing his butt off. And then on the other hand, how Vandy's team is well built and coached. So which one is it? Okay, let me stop you there. So it has to be one or the other? They're 7-1 and ranked number 9 in the country. It can either the quarterback's good or other things are good. They cannot possibly both be true. Are you kidding me? And then he said, and what is the Heisman about now? A popularity contest? Well, no, but it's about more than stats. Now, I will agree that you want statistics. I mean, he had great stats in the LSU win, which got him back into, I think, the discussion after the Alabama loss, which I think hurt him a lot in the discussion. But it is about more than stats. I mean, are ridiculous stats part of it? They can be, for sure. Like Hendon Hooker was, I'd say, the leader for a lot of that 2022 season, and part of that was his numbers were absurd. So that's part of it, but there are also winners who, again, Ndamukong Suh should have won. I don't know how many sacks he had that year. He just dominated the game. And Pavia, again, if you watch football, he's a great player. And also, there is more to this. It's not the popularity contest, but there is the totally, basically, moribund program comes in and you transform the whole thing.
Moribund. Nice.
Thank you. Moribund. More buns. Take your pick there, okay? But what he's done, what he is as a leader, all that stuff is definitely part of it. I mean, they completely rally around that guy. That does matter. So, I mean, all these things, I mean, voters, there's a lot of subjectivity and there's a lot of intangibles that go into the voting for the Heisman Trophy, too. It's not just a stat read. And unfortunately for Aguilar, again, if he lights up Oklahoma, if he just destroys Vandy and has a way better game than Pavia, I mean, he could. I'm not discounting him.
It's the same thing with him from the, like, if Tennessee just makes a field goal in the Georgia game, they're sitting pretty in the college football playoff discussion.
Yep.
And he's at least in the Heisman discussion, right?
Yep.
Like, he's probably not leading it, but he's in there in the Heisman discussion based on the numbers that he's had. But that's how it goes, college football.
Yeah, but again, it can change.
Yeah.
I think there's enough opportunity still with those two games in particular. Like Pavia right now, I wouldn't make him, I don't think he's front runner. It is a weird year, though. It's like, I guess Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
Like Indiana's dominating people, and he's just lighting people up.
Him and Simpson are the top two on most boards.
Yeah, and I'm probably a little more partial to Simpson. I know it's like, oh, yeah, because he doesn't have great players around him at Alabama. He does, but, again, first of all, he outplayed Pavia in a matchup of contenders, and the comeback the other day, I mean, but I think it's wide open. I mean, I think there's in the last month here, I think you could see somebody rise. Look, the Oregon kid was supposed to be the leader in the clubhouse, and then all of a sudden, he falls off the face of the earth with the one loss to Indiana. I think a lot could still happen in that situation.
Well, and that third on the list, just kind of sitting there, and they very well could go undefeated, is Julian Sayin, quarterback at Ohio State. Like, I mean, they probably are going undefeated, by the way. Like, I don't know that anybody's going to challenge them.
Well,
we'll see.
I mean, they don't seem to be able to beat Michigan. And it's at Ann Arbor. I mean, I wouldn't pick Michigan, but also, like, last year they should have beat Michigan by 30. You know what I mean?
I know.
At some point, you figure they stopped the bleeding there, but yeah, like Sayin to me is the classic example of he is really good, but it's like everybody's just like, yeah, okay, Ohio State quarterback. Yeah, must be fun. Go out and play catch. And the Big Ten's so bad. Big Ten is such trash. like I said, Michigan State, it's a great environment, all that stuff, but it's just like
UCLA put up a good fight, huh?
Yeah, 56-6. Like every week, it's like, oh, Rutgers, Iowa, coming up on. It's so bad.
Minnesota, Iowa. Come on, Joe, get excited.
Yeah, what was that like? 45-3 Iowa.
I think Iowa actually scored points.
I was actually pretty good.
Iowa's a wagon.
I was actually pretty good, but like the Big Ten sucks. Like the SEC is so much better than the Big Ten.
What was the final in Michigan State?
31-20, Michigan.
31-20. How just was it an ugly game overall?
Yeah, it was a mediocre team handling a bad team.
Yeah.
What about Marcel Reed? Where's he at in all this?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought him up. I think we need to start talking about him more. Now he threw 2 picks in the LSU game, so he made a couple mistakes. But yes, Nashville's Marcel Reed, and there are people on the text line. I think that really needs to start being discussed a little bit here.
He's number 4 on the board right now on FanDuel.
Because I have said, in fact, it's funny. I was saying to someone this weekend, like that dude's winning it next year. Like I think he's special, and but this year is wide open enough, and that team is good enough that could happen. And these types of things have happened. Johnny Manziel, the year he won it, I bet you by this point, like the first 6-7 weeks of the season, no one knew who the hell he was.
Yeah,
that happens. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's definitely possible. Yeah, so no, he's overrated, Joe. King Mendoza Simpson. Yeah. Look, Tennessee fans, I feel like there's some hatred for Diego.
Well, look, again, with having to watch the Tennessee Titans play football every Sunday, I am really talking myself into Vanderbilt, Tennessee for a spot in the college football playoff at the end of the year. Tennessee's got to hold up their end of the bargain. I feel better about Vanderbilt doing that at this point. But, Tennessee, I think, is a 3.5-point favorite at home Saturday night against Oklahoma. They're wearing the dark mode jerseys, as Rexrode's very excited about. They've got New Mexico State. They got a trip to Florida after that. So if you can get Oklahoma, then everybody's going to start talking about, well, that's Florida. You got to go down to Florida. Tennessee, we'll see. I think they should beat Florida this year. I think they'll be favored in that game, but who knows? It's the swamp. So who knows?
I'm interested to see what is Florida?
I don't know.
Post Napier.
They got a good defense. Or at least they've had a good defense.
They get Is it the cocktail party this week?
It is.
So that'll be a little indication. Because if they've got some life to them, that could be, as you know, Tennessee fan, a little tricky.
It could. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Again, go back to before the season and tell Vanderbilt fans on October the 27th, we'd be talking about Diego Pavia, potential Heisman. Oh, by the way, they're still very much alive for a trip for Atlanta, the SEC title game. You're number 9 in the country in the AP poll, and the college football playoff kind of staring you right in the face as we enter into the last month of the college football regular season. That's where they're at.
You're traveling. A lot of people think you're going to go beat the preseason number 1 team that's hanging on by a thread.
Yep. We'll have the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Cory Curtis at 8 o'clock. All that ahead, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet.
Y'all are big Garth Brooks fans too? No way.
We'll take it from here. This is Kobe Delahousie, number 42, but number 1 in your hearts, the Cajun kicker.
It's a great night to be a Tiger.
Coach, you look very good tonight. I say.
I'm here with my family.
I know what love is, Tiger Nation.
I've got some gumbo for you.
You ever had any crawfish etouffee so good your toes curl?
It is time for the Rex Rant, brought to you by Functional Medicine of Tennessee. Rise up to better health. Check them out at functionalmedicineoftennessee.net.
Remember that day after, the day after my family?
I remember exactly where I was.
All we did, didn't we just sit here
That's all
all
we did the
day?
whole show.
We just did fake accents the whole show.
I was in Florida
that's just
doing
good
the
sports
show.
radio. Right?
There was a caller named Ed.
Yeah.
Who called in who claimed, I don't know, he had this really.
Oh, he sounded just like Coach
Ed
O.
Orgeron.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Ed from Baton Rouge.
Yeah. I'm here with my family. I mean, probably should have known there that was not going to be a great fit.
And now I feel like I should rant about Brian Kelly. I mean, you set me up to rant about. I just sent you something that I'm hoping that, because I'm terrible and I suck. I'm sorry, Ian.
You sent us something right now?
I know. I just said right now. Hey, can you get this ready for my segment? I suck. I deserve to have that hot mic on me. I can't believe I mean, right. I was just starting to launch into a huge angry tirade about Chase.
Profanity.
Yeah. Just, Saved by the Bell. No, I did actually. Well, first of all, let's get into Brian Kelly real quick.
Let's do that.
Let's get into Brian Kelly because, Predemption's I wanted a Brian Kelly rant. I was sometimes Ian leads me to that should have been the idea, right? I just don't. I just think it's hilarious. But you know what? If there is something to this, think about the huge hires.
Yeah.
And how they've been lately. They've been the worst, right? I mean, the big hires that we're seeing. Obviously, Jimbo. Thank you. Obviously, Jimbo is a great example. But Brian Kelly, think about the reaction when they got him. The LSU fan reaction. Oh, yes. And, Notre Dame fans are okay, you think so?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So we've been holding him back? We've been holding Brian Kelly back. That's the problem? Because he just went 3-9 not that long ago. We've been holding him back. And meanwhile, right now, as we sit here, Notre Dame, although we don't know they're getting the playoff, I would still say, well, certainly they have a much better chance of winning a national title this year than LSU did.
Yes.
He got worse and worse as the years went on. The fit thing is interesting. Not a good fit. I saw Andy Staples and Ari, friends of the show, having this discussion. And I agree with what Andy said. He said, if you win, you're a fit. Yeah, great. He's obviously a fake Louisianan. He's from Massachusetts. But a fit, if you coach well and you win, everybody will love you. I mean, there are Kalen DeBoer. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
At first it was oh God. Well, he's from North Dakota, and guess what? They're winning and he's coaching well. I don't really buy the fit thing much.
I think there are some places.
I think some places knowing the lay of the land is very important for sure with administrators, boosters, all that stuff for sure. But you know what? If you're smart though, you should figure that stuff out when you get a job.
I would agree. I also in his particular case, it just doesn't really help when you're just an absolute jerk.
Well, yeah,
what he is.
Oh, he's a very unlikable person.
When you're an unlikable and you're in a spot where look, LSU's just a little bit different, man. It's from a recruiting standpoint, it's just the whole thing is different. And look, I'm not saying that Coach O was great, the greatest gift to the coaching world at LSU or anything, but I mean, he was definitely a fit there, right? He kind of fits LSU. And they have been searching for that since then. Now, LSU to me is still a great job. I mean, there's a growing list of great jobs that are open, and I'm interested to see what happens through all of this. But Brian Kelly, Cool. It's been rough down there.
I'll tell you someone else who isn't necessarily all that likable, although he's at least funny. Absolute trash-talking East Coast yinzer at a basketball school, and all of a sudden in India, he is Bloomington. Kurt Signetti, you are Bloomington, because he wins.
Yeah,
because they kick everybody's butt. Now, what I was actually going to talk about. So the Pavia thing. Now, this person I guess covers Alabama. Let me make sure I have this correct. This is how I saw this, because there was a lot of reaction to this Pavia quote, and this woman, I guess she covers Alabama, or is she an Alabama like fan site thing? I'm not sure, but anyway, basically just went off on him, and then all these people are defending him. Hannah Stevens, I guess featured reporter for Roundtable Sports Network. Anyway, this is what she tweeted. Quote, Diego Pavia might be the most arrogant QB I've seen since Johnny Manziel, minus the talent. Here's my hot take. If your university has to launch an online Heisman campaign for you, your stats clearly aren't doing the talking. Diego, you threw for 129 yards and interception. It showed up after the press conference, dressed like you just signed your latest NIL deal with GLD. Bro, the only thing two-turn was, this is a really long tweet. I'm sorry I started reading it. The only thing two-turned was your turnover count. If Ty Simpson ever walked into a press conference looking like this, DeBoer, one of his teammates, would rip those chains off mid-question, hands down, humility over hype every time. So then we have all these people. Marty Smith is defending him. He's nice to people in the building, whatever.
Chief disciplinarian Kalen DeBoer, yes.
This is the quote from him that she was reacting to.
I got to ask it. Vanderbilt launched the campaign this week. Do you believe you should win the Heisman? Why? But beyond all that, too, how bad do you want it to just kind of, for your O-line, for the rest of the people around you to prove what you guys have done here?
First off, hell yeah, I believe it. We just got to keep winning football games. And, I feel like the schedule that we got, obviously it's a difficult schedule playing in the SEC. You'll play a lot of ranked teams.
Hell yeah, I believe it.
That's
okay.
Okay.
No, I should not win the Heisman. And I should not be invited to New York. Thank you. Goodbye. I don't know. Look, like I get like Alabama fans. I know Saban went on about this too. Practicing victory formation. There's video of him like grabbing himself when he was yelling at some Alabama fans. He's going to talk some trash and he's going to ruffle some feathers.
Yes.
But this side. Oh, and by the way, the school launching the Heisman campaign. Do you follow what?
It happens all the time.
The Heisman campaigns are launched every year by Alabama's done it too. I've received.
Tennessee launched a Heisman campaign one time for Eric Berry,
which actually I like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean I've received literature from Alabama multiple times, and for guys who won Heismans and some who didn't. I mean, come on, that's idiotic. I think that Pavia. Again, I understand ruffling some feathers, and I wouldn't advise something like the quote he gave to Chris Lowe. If we execute, it won't be close.
Yeah.
But also we laughed at the national title thing. I mean, Paul Feinbaum just laughed when he said it on his show, like, oh, Diego. It's like, I don't know, man. They're 7-1 and they're ranked number 9. That's, I mean, I think the Pavia hate is a little bit overboard. And I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. I think he'd have to have some absurd performances ahead of us here to win, going to Knoxville and do something insane and lead with some Heisman plays or whatever. I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he, at this point, has a good chance to get to New York, and he should be there. It is more than stats.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll be joined by Cory Curtis from News 2. Coming up next, we'll get his thoughts on a 38-14 loss for the Tennessee Titans against the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Monday morning. Talking some Titans. And to help us do that, we head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our friend Cory Curtis from News 2. Brought to you by Tennessee Men's Clinic. Cory, good morning. How are you?
I am delightful, and I actually found myself doing something I never thought would happen last night.
What's that?
Rooting for the Green Bay Packers.
Really?
Yeah.
You hate Aaron Rodgers that much, huh?
I found out I disliked Aaron Rodgers even more than Green Bay.
Wow. This is a groundbreaking day on the show.
That is. That's crazy. Well, you had to do something after the Bears lost by 2 touchdowns to Snoop Huntley.
Jeez, I wasn't going to say anything.
You know what? It's easier when you don't care and you just think your team stinks. But when you win 4 in a row and you're playing Snoop Huntley and you just show up not ready to play, it's infuriating.
It is.
I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of infuriating, the Tennessee Titans were back in action yesterday, and the game went about how we thought it would, 38-14 for the Indianapolis Colts. And look, Ward's numbers were fine yesterday, made some good plays in the game, and yet again, we're talking about a 14-point offensive output for the Tennessee Titans, and the 14 points, the last touchdown came in total garbage time. So what did you make of Ward's performance, the Titans offense, and just getting absolutely demolished by the Colts yesterday?
Well, I mean, I think we all agree it's pretty much exactly what we all expected to see, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one team is one of probably the 3 or 4 best in the league right now. And it was a horrible matchup, especially, without Jeffrey Simmons. The thing I didn't understand is why didn't they just hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor all day? I mean, when you looked at that first scoring drive when they settled for a field goal, Taylor carried the first play of the game and went for 12 yards and didn't touch the ball again on that drive. They threw a pass every play after that.
Trying to
ended up
save
setting for a field goal. Did you say saving him for later? Okay.
Yeah, trying to save him.
I mean, the Titans' run defense was abysmal. They had no answer. And when you look at, and I don't want to be disrespectful to these guys. They're professional athletes and trying their best. But when you look at a lot of the guys they were putting on the field, you realize why a lot of it happens. I mean, they're simply outmanned. And offensively, there's not enough consistency. There's too many times where they put themselves in 3rd and long. There's too many times where you don't convert when you should. You don't catch it when you should. You don't see it when you should. You hold on too long when you shouldn't. I mean, there's no consistency in what they're doing. And when that happens, you have drives like they have where, you get to midfield and then it shuts down.
Yeah, to your point on Taylor, by the way, he got totally screwed out of a 200-yard game yesterday. I think they had a pass, 3 and out. But it doesn't matter. And they won 38-14. Yeah, by the way. So
no, they did, but there's still, we give coaches credit for being geniuses. Well, hand them the ball, man. I mean, that didn't take a genius. I was sitting there at my desk going, what is happening here? Give that guy the football. Win the game.
So speaking of coaching genius, I got to say I was infuriated, Cory, and I think it's because of the way football has changed, right? Maybe this isn't infuriating 5-7 years ago, but 4th and 3, 42-yard line, the season is, you're just trying to develop a quarterback and see if you can win a game here or there. And you decide to punt in that spot. I guess my question for you would be, how unimpressed or impressed are you with Mike McCoy so far? Has he coached himself out of any consideration?
Well, I mean, it was going to take a miracle for him to coach himself into consideration.
Yes.
I mean, I understand, everyone wants them to go for it there. I would have liked to have seen them go for it there. It's not why they won or lost the game.
It's still infuriating.
Yeah, but I mean, look, there's a lot of coaches who would have punted there. That doesn't excuse it. And I think the problem is there's a couple problems. You're coaching it like you've got this well-rounded football team that's going to be able to get you the ball back again at midfield. and they made a couple of stops to end the first half, but I don't think you were in a position where you could expect them to make another stop. All right. And I also think that Mike McCoy, people are, well, why not go for it there? And I will put it simply, he doesn't trust his offense. I mean, they were 2nd and 2 on that drive, right?
Right, but there's nothing to trust, and the math strongly declares that you should. I mean, the probabilities that people use in today's coaching world tell you that's a ridiculous decision to not go for it.
Well, look, I agree you go for it, but I will also say this. If he had Phillip Rivers as his quarterback again, I bet he'd go for it there. But he's got a rookie quarterback. And I'm just saying, this is the way I'm sure an older school football coach is thinking about it. He's coaching it like it's a different football game than you and I are talking about, which is not a good football team, a young quarterback trying to learn, trying to desperately get points on the board. And he is coaching it as an old school coach of, you play defense and you get the ball back. It's just a 2-score game. And he's not looking at it the way we're looking at it is, hey, you guys have little to no chance here, and you're actually in position to score. You better go for this.
Cory, sometimes it's like pulling teeth to try to find positives from this football team over the last few years.
Yeah.
One thing I will say,
Jim DK, right?
Yeah, Jim DK looks good, man. Like he looks like an actual threat as a wide receiver, which has been good to see the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he moves well. He runs well. It looks like he can find space. And I think, the other important part, I think Vrabel said this about somebody once, he catches the ball. It comes to him, he catches it. And, that's great to see. And it's great to see a guy, take advantage of his opportunity. I was disappointed when they took him out of the game late because I'm like, hey, you got a chance to get this kid his first 100-yard game. It might be hollow, in a loss, but it's still something he'll remember, and it's still something for him to hang his hat on. But he had 93 yards on 7 catches. He was a factor in the football game. They weren't empty yards by any means. And I think if you look at what their receiving core was yesterday, and you see DK with 7 catches, Iomanner with 4, and Gunner had 2, including the touchdown. There's some promise there. I would still like the plan to include the tight ends more, especially Chigakonkwo, who wound up with 4 for 53. But I feel like, for a guy with run after the catch ability, they don't do enough to get him the ball in the middle of the field or on the move. Because, some of those guys can do things, but DK has shown up, and in a miserable era and a miserable season, you look like as an organization, you got one. All right. It's a couple games, so it's got to be more than that. We've seen plenty of guys flash, but, I think what's also encouraging on him is he's been doing well in the return game from the start. So this is just building on what he's done. And I think that's really good to see.
On the offensive line front, Cory, I thought Latham had some bad reps. Moore had some bad reps, but I thought Latham was a little better. But to my untrained, just watching the game on TV, I feel like the Cushenberry Zeitler area is a little too leaky these days. What's your offensive line analysis after this butte?
It was funny because there was one play I go, well, that was a really good rep for Cushenberry, and the next play he just got murdered, and I was like, oh well. And then there was a third down play. There was a third down play where he just was it Buckner he whiffed on?
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
Yes.
I mean, the guy's 6'6", 310 pounds. How you don't lay a hand on him is puzzling. And for a guy who was the number one center available and the money they spent on him, you would want a brick wall, and he just has not been. And look, that could be more of a miscommunication than a talent. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's not good enough. I mean, that was third and I think 6 or something like that, or third. It wasn't third and long. It was a very And that's why I say there's no consistency. Coaches, I think Vrabel used to always say about the offensive line that they took turns. Like 4 guys would do it and 1 guy would break down. And it's all 11. Taking turns on the offense. Somebody's gonna make a mistake somewhere along the way, and that doesn't always mean a penalty, but it's a mistake, and they just have way too many.
Cory, do you think I understand Colts are 7-1. They've got what probably is going to end up being the offensive player of the year if he keeps it up in Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
2 of their wins have included the Titans to this point, so that is what it is. When you watch the Colts, do you see a true heavyweight contender in the AFC? What do you see when you watch the Colts?
Well, going into the season, I said that the Colts, if they can just get average quarterback play, would be a good team. And I thought they could win 9-10 games if they could get good quarterback play. And they've gotten very good quarterback play and have been way better than I thought they could be. He has clearly allowed their good players to be good players and do their thing. They've had offensive linemen for years. They just haven't had a quarterback to take truly advantage of it. And now they do. And, they're able to balance the run and the pass and, take advantage of both. Their defense is giving up a lot of yards, upwards of 350 a game, but they're only giving up about 20 points per game. And so if they can continue to be opportunistic defensively, they're averaging 34 points a game. They're going to beat a lot of people, a lot of that is predicated on Daniel Jones producing when it counts. And that's what it's going to come down to. 2 things. Can they get a stop in a shootout late? And can Daniel Jones be this guy in the postseason? We've seen other guys produce in the regular season, and then when the postseason comes, they kind of clam up, dry up, choke, whatever you want to say. But they're going to win 13, 14 games. There's not much doubt in my mind about that. And they're going to have a chance to play some home games in the playoff. And, the Ravens don't look like the Ravens. The Chiefs are getting things corrected. The Bills look like they got things turned back in the right direction. But, I'd have to say with what you're seeing from them right now that they can play with those teams.
Ravens still going to win it. I'm telling you, yes.
Oh, hey, I'm not disagreeing because you're gonna see when Lamar Jackson comes back, you're gonna go, yeah, he's the MVP because he makes such a massive difference, for their football team. And
not that the Bears could stop Snoop Huntley.
Yeah, well, but look, John Harbaugh is a great head coach. He didn't forget how to coach. He didn't forget how to win. Things got sideways for them. And what does he do? He goes and wins with Snoop Huntley.
That's true. Cory, awesome stuff as always, my friend. Thank you for taking time to be with us. It graces our Monday morning every time.
Hey, it's Mariota tonight, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Your cousin
Go, Marcus.
today, Mariota today. Yep.
We'll see if Chris Jones decides to play out the plays or not.
Well, it's been a
Mariota
bit of an issue this year.
He needs to throw 2 touchdowns to himself against that team.
Why, do you have him in fantasy?
Maybe I'll pick him up.
By the way, I have Jonathan Taylor on my fantasy team of record.
It's going well.
Oh boy,
it's been a good season. That team also has Jackson Smith and Jigba on it.
Going really well. It's pretty good,
Nice
pretty good
job.
team.
We're having a nice year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cory.
See ya.
Bye.
Cory Curtis, brought to you by Tennessee Men's Clinic, joins us every Monday morning at 8 o'clock here on the program. Colts win 38-14 yesterday against the Titans. We'll get your thoughts on the Titans day. What did you make of Cam Ward? What in the world's there left to talk about with this football team? We'll continue to try to do it next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Appreciate Cory Curtis for being with us in the last segment. Indy Ben has weighed in on the text line, Joe.
Oh, has he?
Indy Ben says, Indy has always had a good roster, just haven't had the quarterback to depend on as of late. With the addition of Tyler Warren, they've become loaded on offense, and there's too much for defenses to worry about now with how versatile Indy can attack you. They're here to stay for a while, so long as injuries don't derail them. Tighten down. This from Indy Ben.
Tighten down. Woo. Boy, do you really need to? I mean, do we need to have, like, horns down? That's what people like. Do you need to have some sort of saying like that for the poor Tennessee Titans? Are they not bad enough
I'll
on their
allow it
own
from Indy
that you
Ben.
have to? I mean,
we've given Indy Ben some flack here on this program. I'll allow it from Indy Ben. That's fine.
When you're this level of ass, I don't think that people should make up slogans to mock you. But that's just
This
me.
is a low T alert.
By the way, speaking of that, my favorite game day sign was the Vandy fan who had "We not ass."
That's pretty good. We got tagged in a couple tweets about that. That was good stuff.
Outstanding.
Very good stuff. Titans lose 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts. They dropped to 1-7. You brought it up with Cory there, but you got a 4th and short situation from the 42-yard line. The game's 17-7 at that point. You punt the ball, choose not to go for it. The very next play, you give up an 80-yard scamper to Jonathan Taylor, and the game is over at that point. So what a flip that is. You got an opportunity to go for it. You got Cam Ward looking at Mike McCoy coming off the field, and you can read his lips. He's like, Mike, what are we doing? Let's go for it. And then immediately the game flips. Flips is probably not the right word. Immediately the game is over.
It ends.
After that when Jonathan Taylor runs 80 yards for a touchdown. I understand, Mike McCoy, probably a little bit more of an old school head coach. I understand you look at the Titans offense and it's hard to trust anything that they do out there. I get that part of it. But you're also in this situation, an interim head coach who's 1-6, who's really only thing we're looking at right now with everybody in this franchise is what's the quarterback looking like, and can you put him in some situations where we can see what he can do? And to be 4th and 3 and the punt in that situation, I just thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, Cory was not nearly down on that as he should have been. The math doesn't mean that probabilities don't dictate that you must do this or must do that. But that offense was actually moving well at that point too, by the way. They actually had some momentum. They're in a game. What if you get it to 17-14? Like, as that game goes deep, then it's like the Colts sitting over there a little bit like, yeah, these guys aren't supposed to be close with us, I mean, who knows? It probably would have been their last points. Who knows? But with the record you have, like you said, like this idea of like, let's not have the quarterback, fail or be in these bad. That's a great situation to put him in, to test him, to see what he can do. And so then you get the 22-yard net and you give up the touchdown the next play. That's the football god saying, what the hell are you doing?
Well, you're in an interim head coaching situation. Like a lot of times when you see that, pick your sport, hockey, football, whatever. Like the idea is to loosen things up a little bit, right? Like, it's not that it's not like you just approach everything. Well, screw it. We're not going to be here anyways. Like, I'm not saying you do that, but when it's 4th and 3 from the 42 and you're down by 10 points and you're 1-6, what do you have to lose at that point? Nothing.
Right.
Like and then it would also be another thing, Joe, if you punt the ball and you end up pinning them at like the 3. But you end up with a net of 22 yards on the play, right?
And you don't know that's going to happen when you make the decision. But, yeah. And look, honestly, I know Sly was not kicking it well yesterday, but he could have made that field goal too.
Yeah.
I mean, he certainly has the distance to have made that field goal. But, yeah, it's just, again, it's like there's the old school way, then we're talking about the interim stuff and whatever, cut it loose. That's a factor. But also, people have figured out that, like, the math says you screwed up by doing that.
Yeah.
Like the probabilities favor you going for it apart from all other circumstances with your football team. So combine those two together and it's a terrible, cowardly decision.
Yeah. And look, I said it yesterday. on Twitter. We talked about it this morning. I don't really know what else there is to say about this team at this point. Like we're searching like mad for reasons to watch this team moving forward, and really it's Cam Ward, and that's about it. DK was good yesterday. I think he's emerging in the passing game, so that's good to see. He had 7 catches for 93 yards yesterday. But we're talking about, the emergence of DK. They ran the ball a little bit better yesterday, 113 yards, 4.5 a carry. Had the big one from Spears for 41 yards. Ward threw for 259, had some good plays in the game. We're talking about all these things, and it was largely 7 points for the entirety of the game and a garbage time touchdown at the end to get it to 14, and that's where they are.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Dennis says, I wish Cam would use his legs more. I understand he's not Lamar Jackson, but there are a few times he could have picked up first downs, but ended up throwing incomplete passes. One in particular, I agree. He had the first down, and just it was an inaccurate throw, and it's like, man, just take the sure thing. I thought there were a few times yesterday where he did that, where he got out of the pocket, got positive gains. I thought it was still a step forward in that way, because I think in some games it's been basically incompletions, throwing the ball / just getting hemmed in and getting sacked. I thought he at least looked to do it. But, he could do it even a little bit more. And then, when you have the sure first down, sure, the completion would have been, 10, 15 more yards downfield, but take the sure thing.
Well, and, he clearly doesn't want to. He's not looking to run, which I think can be a good thing, right? Like, sometimes I think rookie quarterbacks do the opposite, where they're looking to run too much.
Sure.
And they're not seeing what's in front of him. But I do think there's more of a balance there. I thought, to your point, I thought he did that a couple of times yesterday. And look, like Dennis says, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he's got a little wiggle to him. Like he's not inept at running the football out there. He made a couple Colts miss on a play yesterday and picked up, I think, 6 yards on the play. So he can do it. I don't want him doing it too much. I don't want him putting himself in harm's way, and I don't want him necessarily looking to run, but I do think there have been some opportunities that he's probably passed up a little bit too much this year.
He's pretty elusive.
He is.
But he might be a little bit slower than I thought.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a great speed. Yeah.
Just like, trying to run away from the end, as he kind of rolls out there, trying to get away from the outside linebacker, the defensive end. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't watch him enough in Miami, and everyone kind of talked about the whole scramble thing. But he's looked a little bit slower to me than I thought.
He had some crazy plays at Miami where he eluded, extended, kept making guys miss. And he'd stay in the pocket and he'd eventually throw it, you know. But I thought maybe he had a little more speed than this. I agree. He's doesn't have, but he can also break a tackle here and there too. I mean, so there's I feel like he took a step in the right direction yesterday, but still has to find the perfect balance.
Think about what the offense could look like if you get DK playing the way that he is, and you catch the strep next game, and he's in there. Put him in there. Elevate.
I guess it was Kinsey and Prochet.
This
week, right?
Yeah,
and no strep.
No strep.
They're just saving him.
It's time for the strep. We're heading toward flu season, everybody.
615-737.
Get your flu shot.
That's right.
Where's David Fluellen? 615-737-1025. Our phone number. More on the Titans coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Titans lose 38-14 to the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Trey to the program. Trey, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good, buddy.
Good, Trey.
Hey, I just wanted to say I finally watched the Titans yesterday. I promise you, I haven't watched the Titans since Tannehill played.
Hold on a minute.
Uh-huh.
You've been all over Cam Ward all year, and you're telling me you hadn't watched him play yet?
Hey, because hey, here's the reason. I love to listen to the game. I'm able to analyze things and visually, put things in perspective on what things, actually is. And I've seen him yesterday. And I would say that I see a glimmer in him, a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
The team is all around him is pretty bad. He tries to do too many things that's out of the normal operation of, doing things systematic. And I don't think it's going to get better, y'all. I think they'll lose every other game of this season because he just doesn't have the support, especially with the owners. He has support with the coaches, but, I see the Indianapolis owner, walking around on the sideline, dapping it up and stuff like that. I think it started at the top. And y'all have a good day.
Wait. No, don't leave. Don't leave. Why are you looking at us with that angry scowl with middle fingers pointed in the air? Why? I can't see you, but that's what I'm assuming when I listen right now that's happening.
Because that's how I do things.
Oh, I was right. He's confirming what I said.
What?
We love you, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
I love you. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate it. You too, buddy.
What the hell is going on in this town?
I feel like we made progress there, though. He was like, you know what? Team's bad. I got to watch him. Maybe he's not as bad as I thought. Team's pretty bad.
People are
Team's
very
pretty
mad.
cheeks.
As I knew, people are very mad about Trey. Be nice to Trey. But seriously, he's been ripping. He thinks that Cam Ward's the worst quarterback he's ever seen, and he never saw him.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to go that way. Did not have that one today.
My goodness.
I have more respect for Trey now. That's awesome.
I
finally got around watching him play.
I will say, I think a lot of books are better than movies.
I agree.
So I guess
there's a lot more detail in there.
But I'm trying to think, is Taylor Zarzour painting like a bleak picture of Cam Ward in his descriptions of the game?
I can confirm, no, he's not.
I would not think so. What a world.
I finally got around to seeing him play.
All right, I guess I'll watch this guy who I've told you is the worst quarterback who's ever played.
And there was a
football.
glimmer of hope there. So
Yeah,
there was a glimmer.
We're making progress.
I like it.
We're making progress out there.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. I don't know if we're going to top that the rest of the year.
People are very mad about Trey. Take it easy on Trey, text line. He whiz.
Jonathan Taylor had 12 carries for 153 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday. Had the 80-yard run. Also had a touchdown through the air as well, and a nice little jet sweep that they ran that technically counts as a pass when it's just a little bit of a shovel.
Yeah.
Right there from
Little
Daniel
pop
Jones.
pass.
Little pop pass from Daniel Jones. So Jonathan Taylor continues to just absolutely dominate the Tennessee Titans. A game, Joe, where you don't have Calvin Ridley, you don't have Jeffrey Simmons. T'Vondre Sweat, by the way, did get credited with another sack. So that's 2 weeks in a row that T'Vondre Sweat has got a sack coming back. Didn't do much in the way of run defense, though, yesterday for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, it didn't make a big difference. I don't think, if the Titans move on, they moved on from Jarrell Casey. It was like, man, Casey and Simmons, what could that be? They moved on, trying to be the exact right timing for John Robinson. I don't think if the Titans move Jeffrey Simmons that it's going to be the same deal where it's like, now the new star coming in here is T'Vondre Sweat. I think he's a solid player. He's going to be part of the team, but it's another case of overdrafting there. I'd say at this point.
I would also agree with that. We'll see what they do with him moving forward. Defensively, you couldn't stop the run. You didn't stop the pass. Daniel Jones, 21 of 29 for 272, 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 136 yesterday for Indiana Jones. So he continues to just light it up out there for the Colts, who are 7-1. Let me ask you, if you look at their schedule, right, it's the interesting part about the Colts because they don't have a lot of wins that you look at and you say, well, wow, that's a really good team that they just beat down out there. They did beat Denver earlier in the year on that weird kind of leverage field goal play at the end of the year. They've beaten the Titans twice already. So unfortunately for the Colts, they're done with the Titans the rest of the year. But, they've beaten Miami. They've beaten the Raiders. They've beaten the Cardinals, like not very good teams. They have, for the most part, throttled these teams as well. So what do you make of Indianapolis? Like when you, by record, they're the best team in the league right now. Do you look at them and say, yep, that's a heavyweight in the AFC? How do you view the Colts as we sit here, having watched them play twice against the Titans to this point?
Are you listening, Indy Ben? Overrated. No, I think they're good, but I think what Cory Curtis said earlier is exactly right. They're going to have a tremendous record. Look, it's obviously way better than I thought they would be. They are a wagon offensively. Warren, big addition.
Yep.
And it's like, like Pittman has had like a lot of their guys. It's like been somewhat disappointing at different phases of their career, but it's like, okay, Pittman, he's a pretty good physical player. Pierce will get you a deep shot. You got, Downs, and obviously, Mitchell, we'll see. He's kind of been just like ousted since that huge mistake, which is the only reason they're not undefeated right now.
Yep.
But I agree with Cory. Let's see the big stop. Let's see Daniel Jones be a playoff winning quarterback. It's hard not to look at it and think about Sam Darnold, who was one of the huge stories of the league last year, and then in the last two games did not play well, and again, is playing well now. Like, you'll still take that. You'll take what Darnold is right now in Seattle. And my God, the Titans should have taken that. But it's still, like, we still have a full several years of Daniel Jones in the NFL. And I think it's a great fit. I think Steichen has done a great job. I think he's going to be NFL Coach of the Year. But I still have a hard time buying them as a true Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, the one thing is, like, they have just lit it up offensively. Jonathan Taylor has been crazy good.
He's
so far this year. Like,
it's awesome to see him have a year this good, this deep into his career when he's had his own injuries.
Well,
and things.
He plays running back. So my guess is he's probably not going to win the NFL MVP award, right? Saquon didn't win it last year. He's probably not going to win it.
Yeah.
He's going to run away with Offensive Player of the Year if he stays healthy here. But, Daniel Jones, to this point, been pretty consistent, and they're scoring a ton of points per game. And, they destroyed Miami. They've destroyed the Titans twice. They destroyed the Raiders. They beat the Chargers on the road by 2 touchdowns. And I know the Chargers, they've got some tackle issues and injuries and all these things, but that's a good win on the road against the Chargers. So I'll tell you one game I'm looking at for Indianapolis, we're going to find out a whole lot. And that is here in a few weeks on November the 23rd. They go to Kansas City. And, I'm not saying they have to win that game in order to be considered like a true threat.
That's a big
but
one.
we're going to find out, I think, how for real are you heading to Kansas City in that one?
Yeah, and Kansas City is, you can see where they could really go on a run here. They're starting to look legit. Right now, if the Colts and Patriots played on a neutral field, who you got?
I'd take the Colts slightly.
Okay.
It's close. Drake May again yesterday, just dealing out there.
Yeah, and despite getting sacked
5
times by Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. I don't know. I think I might take the Pats. But it's close.
Yeah, but you love Vrabel.
Well, that is true. I am a big Vrabel slappy.
Colts at Steelers this week.
Yep. That's a big game for the Steelers, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think they're very good. I think your Packers are very good. But I don't think the Steelers are very good. I don't think their D's good anymore.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And
they can't cover the pass at all.
Rodgers is still good, but yeah, they're mediocre. This is what I'm telling you guys. Just telling you guys. Ravens are winning that division, man. Just wait. Lamar's coming back. If not Thursday, then after that 10-day break, they are going to go on an absolute tear.
How about the Bengals?
Put me down.
First off, good day. If you're a Titans fan concerned about the draft, and good Lord, I guess we're getting closer to November, so maybe we can't hold off draft talk.
Get it ready
that much longer. But if you're the Titans fan, you're concerned about where the Titans are picking. Yesterday, pretty good day for you. The Jets get their win. You look
Saints
at
lost.
Tankathon. The Saints did lose. That's going to be a huge game at the end of the year. Titans Saints.
What an
Get excited.
absolute.
But the Titans are number 3 on Tankathon right now. It's the Saints, the Jets, and then the Titans. But Jets find their way to the win column yesterday. A good development.
Yeah, and the Bengals. And by the way, that might be the game that gets Zach Taylor out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It just completely blew that game to a winless Jets team when you're up 2 touchdowns midway through the fourth quarter.
You win that game and you're 4-4. And really all they're trying to do is just hang in there until Burrow's back. And then you screw that up. You're up 38-24 in the fourth quarter and you screw it up and lose.
And you still had a chance to go down and kick the winning field goal, and it just, and didn't get it done in the last play of the game. Flacco thinks he's got a receiver, but a young cornerback named Jarvis Brownlee comes in and breaks up the pass to end the game. How about that?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Seems like a promising young player that you might want to keep in your franchise.
Locker room problem.
Jets.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Final thoughts on the Colts win against the Titans. Vanderbilt gets it done against Missouri. College game day was in town this weekend. We'll take your thoughts on all of it. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final segment of the day, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe, it's tough sailing for the home football team right now. I'm serious. Like I don't know what to talk about with this team moving forward. My God, other than the quarterback.
Yeah,
and it's only October.
It's the quarterback. It's the race for the number one pick. It's, the coach who will be the new coach. At least there's stuff like that. It's Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
We not ask.
We're going to not talk about it. Yeah. That's how we talk about the Titans, is to not talk about them. It's rough, man. Like
we're not doing the draft thing.
Not yet. But I don't think we're going to be able to hold it off that much longer.
Yeah. But I mean, like to me,
into November
it's the
weekend.
race for the number one pick. That's fine.
Yeah.
The who they might take with whatever pick.
Yeah, we're not doing that for a while.
No.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yep. Let's welcome in Kyle in Shelbyville to the program. Kyle, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey guys, I just wanted to weigh in a little bit. I was looking at the schedule and I just don't see any more wins. So I feel like we badly need to get the number one overall pick and trade out. If we have top 5 salary cap money and could trade out the number one pick, Cam could get his receivers. We could revamp this team with some cornerbacks. We could get a little bit of everything we need, and I would actually have some hope for us this year. That's all I got, guys.
Thank you, Kyle. I still think it's going to be hard to get everything they need because they need a lot. You could trade out, pick up some picks. They're going to have a lot of cap space, all those things, but there's a lot of needs that this team is going to have. As far as the wins thing, like, look, I'm sure the Titans may stumble into another win or two the rest of the way here. It's not going to be much more than that because that's how bad they are. There are people worried about the number one overall pick right now because they won the Arizona game. I'm here to tell you, if they end up with one win all year long, they're going to get the number one overall pick. It's going to happen. But man, what a slog it's going to be to get there. The more you look back, and we knew it at the time, but I think even more so now when you've watched the aftermath of it, like just the almost literal act of God it took for them to win that game against Arizona is kind of amazing to look back on. That's the win they got. And it took the circumstances that it took in order for them to get it at this point.
Yeah. People already starting to rue that day. The Titans fans. No, it's this team actually could have had a shot to be 0-17. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're going to be 1-16. I don't think they will. I think they'll.
I think they will.
Do you?
I do.
I think they might. Yeah.
I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think
the Saints, you might have a chance against the Saints because it's at home, But the Cleveland game's on the road.
Well, certainly they can.
Good luck trying to block Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that'll go well.
But it's like like Jacksonville or something.
Maybe at the end of the season if they rest a bunch of players.
End of year.
Better not underestimate Duval.
Blah game. They decide not to put Travis Hunter on defense. I mean, yeah, it's like one or two. But I just feel like it just seems like with this league, you can usually you can count on just some weird stuff. But hey, if they're 1-16 at the end, I mean, it's not going to be shocking.
Bye week works out nicely
what
for me this year, though. No, November the 9th, the bye week. It's my anniversary, so I don't have to spend my anniversary watching the Titans play.
That's a good.
Not going to lose that weekend. That's good stuff.
That's very
only
good.
1 week away from that.
That's nice.
2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Well, good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job planning that out when you got married.
Thanks.
Years ago.
Yeah, the Titans in 2025 going to be unwatchable.
They're going to stink. So, it's a slog, man. It's a slog. People sitting here talk about the draft. Yeah, it's just, there's just so much time to do that. And there's just so much information that people think this or that right now. And then they think such different things once they actually really evaluate some of these guys.
Vanderbilt gets the win against Missouri. We'll have more on that, of course, tomorrow as well. But in the meantime, you got Vanderbilt at Texas this week, Joe. And you have basically, we've talked about the 12-team playoff before and all that stuff and gone round and round on all that. But one of the things I will say is, it's a playoff game Saturday between Tennessee and Oklahoma. That's what it is. The loser is probably out. So you got a playoff game coming up on Saturday at Neyland Stadium between Oklahoma and Tennessee, which is cool.
And by the way, it's like we don't talk about it, but it's Josh Heupel again. Oklahoma last year all was made of course, his return home. if Brent Venables doesn't make the playoff this year, they went and got Mateer. They went and got the new OC. Everybody else is firing everybody anyway. Is Brent Venables in trouble?
Maybe. I mean,
and
look,
if so,
by the way, they end with Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. I know LSU doesn't look very formidable right now, but
they got rid of the guy who screams at everybody.
They did.
He was screaming at everybody the other night. Screaming at his OC. Why are you even fun? Screaming.
Seems like a really pleasant guy to be around. Brian Kelly.
What a peach. But could Oklahoma come after the hypester?
I don't know.
I mean, they have to fire Venables first.
It's true.
There's another thing we could talk about. We have so many other topics.
LSU fired the OC. Just
adding to it. There you go.
Oh, they just did that just now?
Yeah, well, about 30 minutes ago.
I'm so confused. I thought they were all fired anyway. I can't keep up, man.
Yeah, Joe Sloan officially fired as well from LSU.
There we go.
Nevada Josh wants Pavia.
A lot of coach openings out there.
Nevada Josh, Pavia to the Titans. Let's talk about that.
That does it for us today on the program. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman is next. This is 102.5 The Game.